Hi guys, welcome back. Today is Monday, July the 12th, and I'm just back to do a quick little video. This is what I'm working on reading right now. Classic Tales of Horror, Edgar Allan Poe. You find this little series here in a lot of the bookstores. Arcturus is the publisher. At least you find them here in Canada, and if you go into a Chapters or whatever, they're always in the sort of the bargain, those bargain whatever piles of classics or whatever that get released every now and then. And this is one of those books that you pick up and say, oh well, I should probably read that. I haven't read much Poe. Of course, in university you always read the Telltale Heart or the Cask of Amontillado. I believe they're both in this one. Cask of Amontillado and Telltale Heart are both in here. So this volume is it's 230 something pages. Now I'm no expert on Poe at all. I don't know very much about him, but obviously he's very well known, especially celebrated by Americans. For me, this is my first looking into Chapman's Homer thing. That's a Keats poem. This is a video called First Looking into Edgar Allan Poe's short stories. Now my first impression was not good, but eventually it seems to be getting better. So the first story was about, like, I don't know, some possessed horse or something like that, and this is Gothic literature, so this is it's funny. Poe lived a bit earlier than I thought. He's early 19th century, and I don't know, I kind of thought that he was a bit later than that. He died in 1849. So that means most of his writings are from the 30s and 40s, the 1830s and 40s. This makes him basically Romantic era, and basically contemporary with Mary Shelley, who it's good to compare Poe with Shelley in this whole Gothic thing. I don't love the Gothic stuff. I don't know why. I love Frankenstein. Frankenstein's amazing, but in general, I'm not the Gothic movement as a whole. Okay, so it starts weak. I thought it kind of has that vibe, like almost like Goosebumps vibe, or R.L. Stine vibe, or what I mean. It's not his fault. Those things didn't exist when he was writing. I didn't like the first story, but they seem to be getting consistently better. I'm now on the fourth of, I don't know, 20 stories. And so first looking into Poe's horror, Tales of Horror, it's good. We've got a 6 out of 10 maybe so far, I'm thinking. Now when I rate these things, an average classic is a 5, has to be a 5, right? This is not books of books. Like an average book would have to be like a 3 or a 2, whereas an average classic, that's my reference point, would have to be a 5. And so this is like a 5 or 6 at this point. Well, let's say a 5, because so far it's average. Okay, it definitely has the potential to become a 6. It's interesting. The second story is called The Assignation, and in quotes it's called The Visionary. It was kind of an interesting story, but I didn't get it, and I had to read it twice, and I still didn't get it. Now, the reason why you have to get it, this particular story, you have to get it, is the way it ends, is this sentence. I staggered back towards the table. My hand fell upon a cracked and blackened goblet, and a consciousness of the entire and terrible truth flashed suddenly over my soul. I don't know what the truth is. and I read it twice. The lesson there is don't be afraid to read things twice. The other day I finished reading Dante's La Vita Nova for like the 5th time maybe, and I just learned so much from this recent reading, but there's still some things that I haven't quite noticed or haven't quite put together yet. And so you read them and you think, well, oh wow, I didn't notice that last time. So don't be afraid of that. I think that I was trying to make a list in my mind, or starting to write out a list, and I'll probably make a video on this. My most read books, and for instance, because of my doctoral work and my master's work, I read Augustine's Confessions innumerable times. I don't know, and I also taught an Augustine course about 3 times in different courses. I read Augustine's Confessions a multitude of times, dozens of times, and there's still lots of things in it that I don't understand or haven't put in a proper significance or whatever. So don't ever be afraid of needing to read something twice. And it's not just the fear, like it's not just trying to understand it that you need to read it once or twice, because these people aren't of our time. They're not of our generation. They're not of our time. So there's words that we don't use in the same way that can confuse us. Sometimes there's translations that don't translate really very well. But also, most importantly, you read these great works more than once because they deserve to be read more than once. Okay, so if you look back in an age where books weren't cheap, people read them just like all their lives, like repeatedly, and they enjoyed them and they were worth reading. So that's one of your first criteria. Is it a great work? Can be answered, should it be read more than once? I think I've read War and Peace like 4 times, and I'll probably read it 4 more times before I die, depending when that is. So why? It's because it's enjoyable. It's and one book that's just giving me more and more joy each time I read it is Goethe's Sorrows of Young Werther. Each time it's like poetry in a sense. Like each sentence is loaded and beautiful and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. So far so good with Edgar Allan Poe. It's funny that I didn't understand that story after reading twice. It was called the story was called The Assignation. So yeah, maybe a 3rd time is a charm. I don't know, but there you go. So I'm going to hopefully maybe do this a few times, tell you what I'm reading, and kind of bring you along with me maybe a bit. Can you see the? You can't see the print there, can you? No. Anyway, sorry about that. I wanted to show you the table of contents. So anyway, books like that you can pick up for $5 or $6 in your local bookstore or whatever. And if you don't like them, you don't like them. You didn't spend a lot of money on them. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll talk to you again really soon.